Frank Ragnow of your Detroit Lions. You are now tuning into the official new hotness, the One Pride podcast presented by ISN. This is your source for all Detroit Lions news, rumors, pre- and post-game day breakdowns. Go Lions.
Frank the Tank Ragnow, I appreciate with that speech you did there, even though it's a little bit off, but we are here with the One Pride podcast on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. EST, and we got a fantastic show for you tonight. Troxel, what are you wearing?
Why so serious? I keep telling people they need to put some respect on the ISN name. You know,
oh, man,
we done had, nobody was talking about Brad Holmes, and that was my dark horse. And guess who's in Detroit? Surely not Mr. Thomas Dimitroff. It is Brad Holmes.
Trox, why are you wearing that? It still makes no sense to me. I can't even tell that you're talking. It's freaking me out, man. We got TA of Noble Sports, the guy who understands talent from the college ranks. What's going on, TA?
What's up, baby? You better put some respect on our name, baby. Let's get it.
When we talk about let's get it, we have a man on here. He's the new member of ISN. He's finally on the One Pride podcast. And we're not talking about Let's Talk Tigers. We're not talking about Let's Talk Giants. We're talking about Let's Talk Lions. What's going on, Let's Talk Lions?
Hey, what's happening? Thank you for having me on, guys. It's good to be here.
Now you are part of this crew, and you can be on whenever you want. Before we get to this great stream that we have tonight, because we got some breaking news, folks, we got to say what up, though, to Vipers. And we got Martell Mountain in the building, SportsCon 89, One Pride Nation. He's a Detroit Lions YouTuber. Subscribe to his channel. We got Burrito Ferrito, love the name, Big D73. I'd rather have a strong D. Squid R10, JT the MV Straight P in the building. Hey, we appreciate everybody in here. Soon people are going to stream in, and that's what it is. Make sure you hit that like button. Again, it gets the stream out via YouTube algorithm, and that's what we need. And also, you're going to see that pinned comment on the chat. That is Let's Talk Lions chat to his channel. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. We want to get this guy to 1,000 fast as humanly possible. Detroit Lions fans in here. Rod Love 313, Craig Ferguson. What is going on? TA!
What's good?
Breaking news today. Did you hear about it?
Yeah, I heard about the breaking news, man. I'm loving it, man. I'm definitely loving it, especially for me taking a hiatus from the Lions. You know how I felt, Mike. I felt like if the team wasn't going in the right direction, I didn't want to talk about them, man. I was really, really frustrated about how the Lions were handling things. And I think now I'm still taking a wait-see approach with the Lions and seeing what they're going to do. But I definitely like the signing and the hiring of Brad Holmes. I definitely think it's going to bring some identity to the Lions, which they so desperately need.
We got Detroit Lions fan. He says, I'm a new subscriber here. Everybody salute this guy. Welcome. Hey, this is a family here. Love having fun. And One Pride Nation, just subscribe to Let's Talk Lions. We appreciate you. Declan Storshaw and Smiles Place. Troxel Sports Trox of Sports Chalk Fury. What do you think of Holmes? What do you think of him, man?
Hey, I absolutely love it. You know, he was the vocal leader for bringing in guys like Aaron Donald, a Ndamukong Suh when he was a free agent, making power moves. When have the Detroit Lions ever really had power moves? Power moves that say, wow, Detroit is actually kind of serious. You know, we've never really had those types of things happen with Detroit. So for us to go get a guy that identifies talent, can make different moves to add guys in here, you know, it makes me happy because for once in our life, we finally have some direction. You know, yes, this is his first time being a general manager. We don't know what he's going to bring, but his track record identifying top tier talent in the draft, letting his general manager know, like, look, you have to seriously look at this guy. Let's bring him in. They bring him in. They love him. Hey, that's credit to him, to Brad Holmes, because that's another guy that, you might have not had on your team. To whereas, now we can finally be able to get some of these guys via the draft, via the free agency, via the trade market, via, undrafted, via every avenue. Like, there's going to be no stone unturned with this hiring. So that makes me happy.
Makes me really happy. Detroit Legendary Sportscast is in the building. This guy is the hugest Lions Kool-Aid drinker of all time. Said no one. He ain't going to be happy until we win a Super Bowl, and I appreciate, man. I appreciate you. One Pride Nation, no, we're not going to hire Adam Gase. Get that name out of here. Please, God. That is a curse word in here.
Facts.
Adam Gase, Pat Patricia, AFC. Let's not
Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles.
Pepperoni.
Oh, man.
Paul Pepperoni, remember him?
Paul Pepperoni. That was
Paul P.
Oh, man, that was a bump. Burr. Let's talk Lions. What do you think of the hire of Brad Holmes?
Quite frankly, you know what? It was the type of thing I put out a video today, and it kind of like, it almost felt like that was the way that the wind was going. Like the breeze was kind of pushing that way, and it felt like it was coming, especially after that second interview on Wednesday. I'm in the camp of similar to Trox, where I'm like, man, I think that this could be huge. Look at him. He identified Goff, Donald, Cooper Kupp, Todd Gurley, all these guys. So he has that eye for talent that we so desperately need, especially on draft night, free agency. Like, we need that eye. The only thing, my only reservation in the whole thing is the fact that he hasn't had GM experience.
Yep.
That's probably the only thing that keeps me like, oh boy, please not again. But all in all, I like it, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Folks, if you heard that voice and you see him there, he's in I think it's the top right corner this way. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Pinned comment under the comment section. This guy is going to be in the One Pride podcast. He's going to be involved because he's the newest member of ISN. So make sure you subscribe to his channel. Antonio Hightower, the guy who has such a motivational voice, it makes me want to sleep all day. What's going on?
Yeah. What's up, guys?
What's going on, Tom?
What's up, Tom?
I would just listen to y'all. I ain't gonna lie, y'all kind of hyping them up a lot more than I'd like to.
Okay, then bring us down to earth, Tom.
Well, he does have some good picks. He got Aaron Donald. That's a pretty great pick. Cooper Kupp, it's a great pick. Rob Havenstein, Tyler Higbee, Jared Everett's a pretty okay pick. That's some great picks. I don't know if about Taylor Rapp, Daniel Harrison, David. Daryl Henderson's all right. I kind of think they reached on Cam Akers, but they got Sean McVay, so he's great at elevating offensive talent. But first of all, they also drafted Greg Robinson. Everybody, do y'all remember who Greg Robinson is?
No, I could never remember who that bust was. End up being our right tackle for a little bit.
Played for the Lions for a little bit. Was trash. Trey Mason, Todd Gurley, bad pick.
No, man, I can't say that about Todd.
Okay, let me ask you this.
He was good.
Couldn't he got a running back as good as Todd in the later rounds?
It wasn't too many running backs as good as Todd Gurley.
Yeah. Todd Gurley moved the needle.
Todd Gurley is a beast.
Todd Gurley was the best running back in the league for
Pat Patricia.
1 year. And then after that,
the
Rams said we would rather cut him than keep him on our roster and eat his cap.
I'm not gonna say for 1 year. I can't say for 1 year. He's been good for several years. I think the last couple.
When he was his peak is when he hit elite. After that, it was a huge drop off. Why? Because injuries, running backs get injured, which is why you don't really want to spend a first round pick on a position that easily gets as injured as running back does, especially when you can get equal production in the later rounds. And you added Sean McVay. Sean McVay can make even horrible running backs look great. You didn't have to really take a Todd Gurley in the first. You took him top 10. for a running back. Christian, the Lions taking a tight end top 10. They took a running back top 10.
You know who didn't take a running back top 10? And that's Matt Patricia. He's in the chat right now. Shout out to you, Matt Patricia.
What's up, Matt?
What's going on, Matt Patricia?
He's on vacation.
Hey, hold on. Hold on. This one's for you, Matt Patricia. This one's for you, Matt Patricia.
We appreciate you, Pat Patricia. Adam Walker, what's going on? If I didn't shout you out, just let me know. I will definitely shout you out. We got Detroit Legendary Sportscast trying to bring us down back to earth. So hold your horses. All I can do is do one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
One step at a time, Craig Ferguson and Cheryl Hindenburg. What has Sheila done so far? She came in here. She fired the clown show. They're gone. She gets Chris Spielman. He's in. Helps out with Barry Sanders. Does an extensive interview process. No one can say this was a 3-ring circus interview process. Right. This was like, I was getting tired of seeing the interviews. It's like, holy smokes, where's my interview at? Like everybody, where's Travis's interview at? Everybody was getting interviews.
You get an interview. You get an interview. Everybody was getting interviews.
But fellas, how you have to look at it though? They were doing their due diligence this time. They really needed to do it.
Yeah.
You know, they needed to do their homework this time because the Lions, come on, guys, let's be real. We have had a carousel of head coaches come in and GM, all kind of stuff. I mean, we're still trying to figure out what the solution is, or I mean, not the solution, I should say, but what the problem is with this franchise. And like I was talking to Mike earlier, I'm pretty much saying the reason why the Lions have not been successful is number one, the talent. The talent has not been there. And what I like about the Brad Holmes signing being a GM is that he's a college scout. So he has an eye, he has a keen eye, and he has guys that's around him that understands talent. And he understands that you don't always get the top player in the first round or the second round. Some of these guys are undrafted guys. And that's what the Detroit Lions are going to have to do this season. You're going to have to look for dogs in the undrafted rounds. Because that's what this team needs. This team doesn't have an identity on defense. When you look at this team, like a couple seasons ago, when Sue was on a part of this team, you knew that Sue was a dog. He was the identity of the defense. And then along with Levy, and also like guys like Steven Tulloch and Ziggy when he wasn't hurt. So you had guys in here performing at a high level. Even Nick Farley or whatever, he played okay for a minute. CJ Mosley, George Johnson, guys like that was here. They played decent. But now, Kerry Hyder as well. And you had guys here that were trying to get this defense in the right way. And then we ended up regressing after we didn't re-sign Sue. So we didn't have an identity anymore. And then Levy ends up getting hurt. And we really haven't had a linebacker to be the quarterback back there since Levy and Tulloch. So right now, when you're looking at this defense, you have to go and find the quarterback of the defense. You got to go find that dog out there. And when I look at it this offseason, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the dog. And I don't care if I find this guy as an undrafted free agent. I want a dog.
Facts.
Eat that meat. That was a bad one. Sorry. Didn't mean like that. We don't eat. That doesn't happen on the One Pride podcast.
And I want a dog, Mike. I want a dog that bites before he barks.
That's the One Ride podcast. Oh my God. Yes, we're going to be talking about the Matthew Stafford situation. I see that in there. We're going to talk about the linebacker situation. We're going to talk about getting a strong D. The importance of having this man who can evaluate talent, not in the first round or second round, yes. That is the doomed round for the Detroit Lions. If you're drafted in the second round, you're doomed to be a failure. Lee, Tease, Tabor, Jelani Tavai. The list just goes on at the second round.
That's one reason why I'm so skeptical about DeAndre Swift. He is a second round pick.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, please let him be good. Please let him be good because he is a second round pick.
Please, God. Please,
right.
God. Don't be drafted in the second round. Head coach position, folks. Let's talk about head coaches. before we get to the head coaches, we got 38 likes with 72 in the building. Let's get to, let's get 70 likes. I think we can do 70 likes. Let me know in the comment section if we can get there. Again, subscribe to Let's Talk Lions. He's part of ISN. He's the newest member here. He's trying to get his feet wet in this Lions game, in this YouTube game, and it's vital to slowly get your face across in there. Troxel Sports Trox. Who is the head coach that you covet? Who do you think that he is going to get?
I'm hoping it's Robert Saleh. He did get a second interview with the LA Chargers. Okay. If he does not go there, then I have a strong feeling that within the next day or so, we will hear some sort of word that Detroit might have tried to go and get a second interview with Robert Saleh. I'm hoping that he is the guy. One thing that we've seen, we didn't get guys. We didn't have a head coach or a defensive coordinator that came in and got the guys riled up before games. It was all strictly business and no fun, no this, no that. It was literally the no fun league. With, Robert Saleh, I was watching, what was that, TA, week 15 that the 49ers played the Arizona Cardinals, and Robert Saleh was just jumping up and down, wiling his team up.
Yeah.
And they kept fighting. Mind you, look how many injuries the San Francisco 49ers had.
Yeah. Right. They didn't have any starters out there. Not too many starters was out there.
Facts. And he just, and we had most of our starters in Arizona. So it was just like, holy Toledo. Like, he got those guys ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not going to be in the playoffs, he's going to take somebody out with him.
Yeah, he did that ready to rock and smack down folks from the block. That's what he does. Antonio Hightower, I heard you on the podcast earlier this morning. I kind of have an idea who you want for your head coach. It rhymes with Barrick B. Kenemy.
Oh, definitely.
But let me know who you want.
My top three is Eric Bieniemy is number one. Joe Brady is number two, and Dan Campbell is number three. Number four would probably be Brian Dable. I want Eric Bieniemy, man. That dude, he could be a really great hire. Now, there's a chance he could end up like Matt Nagy. Now, I think he's been better than Matt Nagy. He's kind of proven more than Matt Nagy. But with dealing with Chiefs offensive coordinators, you're taking the chance. But he seems better than the rest of them were. Getting a top offensive mind is like game changing. Because honestly, like McVay, imagine how golf would look without McVay. We talk about how bad golf is now. Imagine that guy without McVay. He wouldn't even be a franchise quarterback without McVay, if we're being honest. Like, it wasn't a great pick, but he's such a great offensive coordinator. He said, I can make this guy good. I can't make him great because he doesn't have the intangibles to be great right now. But I can make him good. He just gonna play through me. It's Kyle Shanahan with Jimmy Garoppolo. Got into a Super Bowl. He's like, hey, just listen to me. Stay inside my offense. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna run this defense.
So perfect.
And we're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Right. And those are with less talented quarterbacks. Right. Because you notice what happens when they can't run the ball like they can, and when they can't play the defense. What happens? Quarterbacks fold because they're forced to do things. They're forced to do things outside the confines of the offense. So imagine we got like a guy like a Trey Lance or Zach Wilson or a Fields, and we got one of the top offensive minds in the league.
Yes.
So many wide receivers in this draft. We can trade away some of these guys. Like, we could franchise Kenny Galladay, trade him. He could sit behind Matthew Stafford, or you could trade him. It's either one. You could trade away Romeo because he's gonna need a contract, and the Lions are on a point where it's kind of just go full scale rebuild. Just go full scale rebuild. Maybe you take an edge rusher. It's not that many in this draft. The best two is probably Kwity Paye and Azeez Ojulari. Other than that, if you're looking for top tier pass rushing talent, it's not really there.
Yeah, that's facts, bro. Hey, yeah. You spit a lot of things there. Let's talk Lions head coach. Let's talk head coach.
I think mine is not really favored by the masses, if I may say, but I like Doug Peterson personally. After he got, and I know, but after he got fired,
he said it was not favored by the masses. Let the man talk.
Correct. And so, and I get it. You kind of look at what happened this year, a 4-11-1 season. But when you look at what he was able to do with Philadelphia, bringing them to a Super Bowl, winning a Super Bowl, and 4 consecutive back-to-back playoff years, and how he was able to work with Wentz, I just look at him and I see so much potential coming off of that Andy Reid tree, being an offensive coordinator as well, working well with an offense. And so if I had my first pick and I had a fishing pole with a lure at the end, I would bait him in hard.
So you're a master baiter who can bait in hard. Let's get this right. So you are a master baiter who can bait in hard.
I didn't say that.
Hey, Frog Crop, the right one. What's up, man? They are members of mine. Same with the Gridiron Blitz. ISN, get up in there. What's up, Nathan Bankhead? What's up? Nick Shouts, Craig Ferguson, and Keith. What's up, folks? So we got Salah in the middle with his finger pointed up, says, I got to say something, Micro Mike, so say it.
Okay, real quick, though. The reason why I would not go after Doug Peterson, I mean, all of that is 110%. I love it. But then I look at that last game, week 17. You're down 1 touchdown. You pull your starting quarterback. You have your franchise quarterback not even suited up. You have, Jalen Hurts, and then you take him out, down 1 touchdown, and put in Sudfeld, and they lose.
Sure.
Like, you blatantly got fired just for that one game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. And it's a great thing to bring up and to look at. And maybe it's just the fact that I'm from Jersey. So like there's that like slick shyster in me where I'm like, I like that. but no, you're right.
Like it. We got to bench Jalen Hits over here in Jersey. I think we got Travis Doyle up in the building.
What's up?
Hey,
what's
everybody loves Travis Doyle.
Can I say something about the Doug Peterson hire?
Here we go. The voice of God.
Here's my problem with the Doug Peterson hire.
I knew I was going to ruffle feathers here. My bad.
Here's my problem.
That's okay.
I think Doug Peterson is actually one of the worst head coaches in the league. The mismanagement of Wentz in that offense has been horrible. Because if you notice, who's been the missing piece? Think about it. Since the Eagles have went to the Super Bowl, it's been going downhill. Who's the missing piece there? Frank Reich.
Yep. No, you're right.
Turned them into a playoff team. Eagles got turned into a not playoff team very quickly. And he's clearly been the one who's running that offense. Wentz went from MVP favorite to maybe a free agent.
Yeah.
2 years.
You know who gave Mr. Carson Wentz his first loss when he started his NFL career 5-0? The Detroit Lions, baby.
Yeah, he threw that interception to Darius Slay at the end of the game.
You got my like, Nathan. Thank you so much, man. Who is mostly likely to coach at this point? French fries. We're talking coaching right now. And TA of Noble Sports just screwed my screen up. Now it's a little bit better. I was going to go to him, too, because it's his time to talk. But he said, to the no. I don't know who most likely is. That's the thing. Okay, TA is back. He's back again. TA. We got Salah in the middle. Okay. We have the guy who just got fired for switching it out. We got Eric Bieniemy's lover. What about you, TA and Noble Sports? Who do you covet?
I gotta say that my guy would probably be Salah. And the reason why I'm going to say him first, number one, is because when I look at him on the sidelines, the guy got the passion. He has the fire. He's going to talk to the players. He's going to amp guys up. I love that. I love that when a coach can be direct with the players and not be afraid to go and talk to your quarterback, not be afraid to go and talk to the running back or to a corner or whoever that's might be having a bad game or whatever. I love that. I love that about him. He reminds me of a player's coach. And I'm not saying that player coaches are the ones that win in the league. I'm not saying that, so don't get that construed. But what I'm saying is that he is what I look at in a head coach. He is what I want to have. I want somebody fired up. I want somebody to get in these guys' faces when they're not doing right. And I want somebody that's going to be able to challenge the guys as well. It's not always how you start, but it's how you finish. And I like the way he finished. I like the way he finished with the 49ers. And I just think that Saleh would be that guy to be able to get these guys to the next level, especially on defense, man. Defense has been horrible for the Detroit Lions for a very, very long time. And it's just time to get some dogs on that side of the ball. And I just think that he is the guy to be able to get the job done. I got Saleh, and then my second guy would be Eric Bieniemy. Definitely, I would take him because I feel like DeAndre Swift would be better in a zone type of offense. Some offense that has space where he can create. I believe I heard DeAndre talk about that before, that he likes to operate in space more so than the power run. He likes to operate in space, kind of like how Barry Sanders was. Barry Sanders really didn't want a full back there with him. He wanted to be back there by himself. And I think that DeAndre Swift is the same type of running back that Barry Sanders is, a guy that's very, very shifty back there.
Dolo Dynamite says, let's go. We will, Dolo. We will. Let's go low. And we're going to be talking about all this stuff all night. But guess what, folks? In 18 minutes, we're going to go to you. And this is the mailbag segment. In 18 minutes, get your questions ready. Hashtag Lions, hashtag whatever fan the team you are. We're going to go ahead and answer your questions. If you want to ask me personally or ask us to one of the hosts, you can do that. Or as a whole, while I see Travis Troxel Sports Talk, getting to see slowly, I'm here, teacher. I see you. Speak your piece, man.
I got a second person too. And I don't know, Mike, if you have him on your radar, but Brian Dabble. Look at what he did with Josh Allen. Completely worked on his mechanics, got him ready, had him Josh Allen's playing lights out. I was super high on him coming out. Now I look at him, I'm like, he could be a future MVP year in and year out. Like, that's the way he carried himself from last year's mistakes to this year's greatness. I mean, the dude's been balling.
He's balling, and it's all about balling. Every time someone drops out, the screen goes crazy. Like it just took some medication that was off the wall, getting them to fall on the ground and bounce off the ground. I have not even said who I think. I know everyone's going to laugh at me when I say this name, and I'm going to get the same treatment Let's Go Lions just did. Maybe a little bit worse. Folks, what about this guy, Marvin Lewis? Why does it seem like it makes sense? Why Marvin Lewis? Look, every team has had a second chance regarding the head coach. If you look at what other teams have done, they may not have succeeded the first time, but the second time they have succeeded. Marvin Lewis was with a dumpster franchise for the Cincinnati Bengals. He comes in and made them relevant, going against the AFC North with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens at their prime. Difficult situation. I think he's meant to the playoffs. I think he was with team, 7 years? Was there 4 or 5 times? Seven times.
Yeah.
He was there 7 times and lost all 7 times.
Yeah.
That is the issue. But do you think that the red BB gun is better than Matthew Stafford? No. I think Matthew Stafford would be better. I'm not saying he's the guy. I'm not saying that you need to jump on his bandwagon, but I'm saying I think he gets less credit than he probably should, in my opinion.
I think
he gets
the
less
playoff records hurt him when people view him. You know, they look at it and be like, okay, well, when he got to the playoffs, he didn't do nothing.
Right.
And it wasn't against the Steelers or the Ravens. It was against, other teams. Because there was times where the Cincinnati Bengals were actually, ahead of some of these other guys. There was a time where the Steelers were down. There was a time where, the Ravens were down. And the Cincinnati Bengals stepped up into that spot. Whereas, so they had to play against weaker talent. They still couldn't get the job done. They were very competitive in every single playoff game, but they just couldn't get over their hump. And I think that playoff loss record hurts him in Detroit. especially because we are so bad at making the playoffs and winning a playoff game.
Yeah. My number one guy is Robert Saleh. Let's not be – I'm not going to play here. Robert Saleh is my number one guy. Eric, my frenemy. I don't want him to be my enemy, but I do want him to be my coach. He's my number two guy. And I seen that Urban Meyer just got the job for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so he is off the spot there. Congratulations to Urban Meyer's bank account. It just got bigger, like it had some Viagra, and that's always a good thing.
Hey, you're gonna have a strong D in Jacksonville.
He's gonna have a Trevor Lawrence and a strong D over there, man. And there's nothing wrong with having that first pick in the draft. So, but he's off the market. Let's do a quick round. Who do you think will be the coach? Not who you want. Now we're just gonna say a name. A quick little fast round. Antonio Hightower, just say a name. Who do you think will be hired?
Saleh.
TA.
Saleh.
Let's talk Lions.
Saleh.
Troxel Sports Talk.
Let's get the sweep going, Saleh.
Man, I'm going to go ahead and say.
Come on, Mike.
I don't want to jinx it, but knock on wood, I do want Saleh. So let's do a 5. And guess what? That means it's not going to be him. I'm sorry, we just screwed you over big time. It is what it is. We're going to transition now because in 13 minutes, we're going to go to the chat. But there's one pressing need that Brad Holmes has to deal with time now. And that's none other than the quarterback of the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford. Let's talk Lions. What do you think is going to happen with Matthew Stafford?
I think we're going to keep him. I think we hold on to him. And personal opinion, I'm happy with that. I really am. I think Stafford – I would love to draft a quarterback. I don't know if we're in a spot at number 7 to get the guy that I would like to see us get as a rookie. But it would be nice to draft a quarterback, have them sit under Stafford through the end of his contract, 2023. I think we hold on to him because look at it. When you watch Stafford play, he still has so much left in him. He's only 32. He's going on 33 this next season. He still has so much time, I think, watching him. I was looking at all different QBs today, just different ages, how long they've been in the NFL, and looking at him, he's right in a prime spot. I think that Detroit should hold on to him at least through the end of his 2023 contract and say sayonara in a very kind, loving way where both parties part mutually.
We got 106 in the chat. I want to see what you all think. Do you want Stafford to stay? Y for yes. Do you want him to be traded? N for no. Let me see what the fan base, the subscribers want. I'm curious. I did a poll on my channel last week, and it was about 64 to 65% wanted Stafford to stay. Troxel Sports Talk. What do you think is going to happen with Matthew Stafford?
I think he stays. Just because of the cap situation, we can't afford any more minuses on the books. We need pluses. So eating some cap space from that contract, I don't think is feasible. I do want to see us either this year or next year draft a quarterback, let him sit and things of that nature. But I think he's going to be the quarterback at least, even bare minimum, at least until the trade deadline. Like that's like bare minimum. He's going to be here till the trade deadline, week 9. After that, hey, it's anybody's game and anybody's prediction.
Okay, and then after we get to this question, it's going to be interesting because then we're going to talk about with that 7th overall pick. We'll talk about this. Could we take the successor? Do you think that's possible? But right now, we're just talking about this year. Antonio Hightower, Matthew Stafford. What do you think that Brad Holmes is going to do with our quarterback?
Even though I don't want them to, I think they're going to keep him. I really don't think they're going to keep him just because they don't want the money. That's really the only reason I don't think they're going to keep him. I'd trade him, but get a good pick. Sitting a quarterback behind a veteran quarterback is really good, but you're in a part of the NFL where pretty much rookie quarterbacks are developing at a higher rate than they've ever been in any point in time in the NFL. Especially if you hire, I think if you hire an offensive coach, especially, you really you really should trade Stafford, but I think they're gonna keep him.
Yes, if you have him. Do you have him on, Trucks?
I can get him on.
Well, just let me know when he's on. So, TA Noble Sports, Matthew Stafford. What do you think Brad Holmes is going to do with him? Trucks or TA Noble Sports?
Yeah, can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Basically what I think is going to happen, I agree with you guys. I think that Matthew Stafford is going to be brought back for another season. But myself, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. Matthew Stafford, 13 seasons, no division titles, nothing but stats. I love Stafford. He's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but I think this rebuild this time, I think that you're going to have to rebuild it the right way. And to me, and it's just my opinion, I know we all entitled to our own opinions. My opinion, I think that it's time to move on from Matthew Stafford. I've been talking about it for a very, very long time. I'm not saying that Matthew Stafford is the problem with the Detroit Lions, but he ain't the solution either. He's not the solution. And even though I love Matthew Stafford, I still would say that it's time to go on to another quarterback. The reason why I'm saying that is because you don't win with Matthew Stafford. You've had Matthew Stafford on this team it'll be going on 13 years, and you can't win with him. And in this season coming up, you're not going to win with Matthew Stafford again. I don't care did you see that schedule? How brutal that schedule is going to be? You're not winning with Matthew Stafford. And I'm not saying that the grass is greener on the other side with another quarterback coming in. Oh, yeah, the new quarterback, he's going to be the man. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you're going to have to do a deep dive into Matthew Stafford and say, look, I know that we may have to keep this guy, and he's going to probably have to groom the next quarterback that comes in. But this season, we can't miss out on the quarterback. We're going to have to get our guy of the future because the future is now. How many years do you give Matthew Stafford to continue to be the quarterback when he's not getting his team over the hump? He's not getting these guys over the hump.
The Black Inuasha, I'm sure I destroyed the name, Grim Father, Talon Telford, Brian Vanderholt, Roman, Big G in TX, Texas, Grinch Mode, Charles Oxford. If I missed out on your name, I apologize. I'm just seeing what I have in front of the eyes, and clearly I don't have the greatest eyes on the planet. I think that, look, Matthew Stafford's bonus is coming up in mid-March. If we trade him after that, it's a $29 million dead cap hit. It ain't happening. So if they're going to trade him, it will be before the bonus. In my opinion, what do I think is going to happen? I think he stays this year because of the cap and because of the young guy. With that said, I personally think we need to look to see what value he has in trade. Because this team is in a world of hurt regarding the roster on this team. It's bad. It's really bad, specifically the defense. I still think he stays. If Trey Lance or Zach Wilson or Justin Fields is there with the 7th pick, I'm probably taking one of these guys. And that'll be the next question here, Trox. Justin P. Fields, you got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Micah Parsons. Who are you taking?
Oh, this one's going to be hard because if Micah Parsons and Zach Wilson is there, that is literally going to be a coin flip for me because, Zach Wilson obviously will be the heir apparent for Matthew Stafford for years to come. You got also Trey Lance could be the heir apparent for Matthew Stafford for years to come. But then you look at the defensive side of that ball and how poor they are. Like there is outside of our corners, Jeff Okudah, who I wanted, yes, and I'm going to stand by that pick. Amani Oruwariye on the outside of that, and then you got Tracy Walker outside of that. Who's really on that defense that moves the needle? That you're saying I'm afraid to play the Detroit Lions. We don't have really those guys. So you get a Micah Parsons. You're going to have to game plan for a Micah Parsons, especially if you go get Robert Saleh, because that could be his Fred Warner type of guy. That guy that can go sideline to sideline, get him coverage, can blitz, can do whatever your head coach or your defensive coordinator needs. That could be, your guy. So, oh man, if I have to just pick one for the show, you know what? Give me Michael Parsons, because next year I know that there's going to be 2 quarterbacks that I got an eye on. And shout out to this person right down here, Mr. Noble Sports. Shout out to you, brother. You put me on 2 quarterbacks, and I'm like, yes. Yeah, I
appreciate that.
Let's talk draft. The 7th pick. Who do you got?
Well, I mean, for me, if I could take a QB, I'm going Zach Wilson. Just looking at him, looking at his style, looking at what he's done this year, and his size as well, being 6'3". I mean, he could be a little bit bigger. I would love somebody like the size of Josh Allen. Trox, you brought up Brian Dable, Josh Allen earlier. Love Josh Allen. Love that build. He's like a young Big Ben. So when I look at somebody like Zach Wilson, man, if that boy could beef up a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, I would take Zach Wilson. That's my choice.
I do love Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson is a fantastic individual that you can have in this team and build around. Antonio Hightower on the clock. You got those guys there. Who you picking?
I'm running to the laptop and taking Zach Wilson, and it's not even close.
Okay.
Nobody comes close. Zach Wilson might be the second best quarterback in the draft. Now listen, man.
I agree.
I don't hate Michael Parsons, but I can avoid a Mike because he's only going to be in that box. I can avoid him. Now, if you was talking about a guy like Simmons, who will play inside, outside the box, everywhere, I still say no, but it'll be more understandable. But what they say, the quarterback is the most important position. Now they're both needs, but what's a bigger need for the future?
That poor need.
Would it be easier to find a linebacker or a quarterback? And it's way easier to find It's going to be way easier to find a linebacker, especially in this draft. I could find a great linebacker in the 2nd, 3rd round. What is the chance? I probably won't even find a great quarterback past pick 15. So I'm taking Wilson if he's there. Now he's probably not going to be there, but if Lance is there, I'm still taking Lance. Any of the top 4 quarterbacks are there. I'm running to the podium, the laptop to take them because you need a quarterback. You can figure out everything else. If you got a quarterback, everything else you can figure that out.
Folks, in 2 minutes, we're going to you for the chat. You guys run the show. #Lions, whatever fan of your team you are, and we're going to answer your questions. Again, you can ask us individually or as a group. You don't have to be a Lions fan to do this. This is for everybody since a lot of my subscribers are not Lions fans. TA Noble Sports, you got the 7th pick. You got Micro Parsons. You got Trey Lance. You got Justin P. Fields. And you got Zach Wilson. Who you taking?
All right. You want my answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. With the 7th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Trey Lance.
Woo!
Okay.
I'm taking Trey Lance, man. I want a dual threat quarterback, and Mike, how I've been talking about off the record, how I've always wanted a dual threat quarterback. I love dual threat quarterbacks. I played with them when I was in high school, when I played football. I love dual threat because they extend plays and they're able to do something, especially when a dual threat quarterback is smart and he's getting out of bounds or he's sliding. Those are the kind of guys I want. And Trey Lance is about 6'3", 6'4", 224 pounds. And he is a guy that I would love to groom because he's only 20 years old. So skies is the limit. And I hope that the Detroit Lions select Trey Lance because I think that he has all the potential. And I love Zach Wilson. Don't get me wrong, because I definitely, guys, was talking about Zach Wilson in the offseason. I was like, guys, you got to watch this guy from BYU. His name is Zach Wilson. This guy is a nice quarterback. And I would take Zach Wilson. And I would take Fields as well. But I think that Fields will be gone. And I think that Wilson may be gone as well. And that leaves me with Lance because I'm not taking Mac Jones. And I'm not taking Mac Jones.
Who?
Mac Jones.
Who?
Mac Jones. I'm not taking Mac Jones. I'm not taking Kyle Trask. You can forget about it. So my guy is going to be Trey Lance to be able to take this team to the next level. He's 20 years old. The upside is there. He can learn from Matthew Stafford, and that is my pick with the 7th pick overall.
Okay, now it's time for you guys to run the show. We got 66 thumbs up. Let's get to 75. We got 111 in the chat. One Pride 40. Been with me for a long time. Appreciate you. He says, who do you believe will be head coach? I'm thinking between Lewis, Campbell, or Arthur Smith. Between those three, I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be Robert Saleh. I just got that feeling. But I tell you what, Campbell, they're talking a lot about this guy. But it's really up to the general manager at this point. But what do you guys think, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's gonna be up to the head or the head guy in the front office, which is the general manager. But I mean, any one of those, I don't feel like it's gonna be a bad acquisition. Whoever is gonna be the head coach has a lot on their plate. So, if that's going to be the guy, then let's go. Let's have some fun and start trying to get this team to rebuild so we can, get back to where, say, even 2014 it was.
We got Roman. He says, how about Gregory Rousseau from Miami? I like Gregory Rousseau, just not really at the 7th pick. If they decided to trade back, personally, I think that would be the route. But TA Noble Sports, the scout himself, what do you think about Gregory Rousseau?
Man, I gotta admit, I have to definitely watch film on him. I have not really studied him. I heard his name being brought up a lot in conversation, but I got to check out the other talent as well. I got to see other guys that play that position. I don't want to just say somebody that everybody throws their name out there and says, oh, this is the guy that you need to pick, because it's always not that guy. It's another guy that's more hungrier, a guy that you didn't think that was going to be a dog. That's the guy that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for big names and stuff like that. I'm looking for the guy that has the heart, the guy that's going to play with passion, the guy that's going to do his thing every given Sunday. Sunday, any given Sunday. That's what I'm looking for.
We got Big D73. I would like your name to be Strong D73, just so I could have a laugh. But he says, now that the Jags hired Urban Meyer, do you see them taking Justin P. Fields over Trevor Lawrence? No, I don't. I am 100% convinced Trevor Lawrence is going number 1. Let's do a panel quick review. Let's talk Lions. What do you think?
No way. No.
Okay. No. About Troxel Sports Talk.
Trevor Lawrence, number 1.
Trevor Lawrence, number 1. What about you, Antonio Hightower?
No, they're taking Lawrence. I get the Ohio State connection, but it's not he didn't even coach Fields, so no.
Okay, and TA and Noble Sports.
Yeah, it's going to be Lawrence, no doubt.
That's a strike, man. That's a strike. You heard it here first. Best of luck with your new head coach, Detroit Lions. Well, thank you so much, Inez Richards. I appreciate it.
Hey, shout out to Inez Richards. Appreciate you.
We appreciate you. Yep.
If you got a question about whatever team you're a fan of, just let us know. Throw it in there. Doesn't have to be Detroit Lions related. Just let us know. Let's see. If we trade Stafford and cut Flowers, we won't have money to sign draft picks. Yeah, that would be a killer of the cap space. That would be a mega bombshell like Hiroshima and Nagasaki on steroids. If that happened to Ford Field there, it'd be empty, man, because you would have no one to put on the field with such devastating cap hit. Let's see here. If we traded Stafford to the Colts, we'd land Russo with the pick. He's going to fall. Okay.
Dear God, no.
We trade Matthew Stafford. Mike, do you miss us? Larry, I miss you all the time, man. All the time. If we traded Matthew Stafford to the Indianapolis Colts, Trox, what would you want in a trade?
2 first-round draft picks and future third.
God dang, you're freaking cutting them, man. That's quite a bit. I don't think you're going to get that. What about you, Let's Talk Lions?
I don't think I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't trade him.
Whoa, okay.
I mean, but if I had to, I would probably go cutthroat as well. Try to get that at least this year's first round pick and next year's as well.
God, if they gave that up, oh my God, bye-bye.
Well, you got to remember one thing. If it's so hard to draft a quarterback, especially with these like the Pittsburgh Steelers or, I'm just going to throw this out there. I know he's still young, but Patrick Mahomes or, or here's a good one, a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees. You're trying to tell me you would not give up 2 first-round draft picks and a third and get a 30-year-old,
33 years old with 3 years of straight injury history of 2 broken backs.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not the Detroit Lions. They got an offensive line. You know, they got a running back.
Yeah, but Stafford's got a broken back line.
Yeah, like if you're gonna
trade he just hands it off
to either trade up in the draft or just keep Rivers, because they're gonna give you similar production.
I take. I say draft picks, no doubt about it. I'd love that.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, like, I could if I'm with the Saints and say they move on from Drew Brees, all I got is to do is give it to Alvin Kamara. Or just dink and dunk it to Michael Thomas.
Yep. Yeah. And a guy like Stafford, you watched that Bills-Colts game the other day? I'm sitting there with some buddies, and they're all like, well, don't they wish they had Stafford right now on that last drive? Because Stafford's the guy to get done. I think he would actually have success in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I think you'd have great success there. I just don't see him having a whole lot of success here due to the fact that we have inept of talent and he's 33 years old. I think I think we're in a couple years of a rebuilding mode, at least for this defense, but from my perspective. But Travis Doyle super chat. We love it, man. Travis Doyle, $5 super chat says, who would you like to see as our offense and defensive coordinator? I love Lovie Smith. I would love him as a defensive coordinator. And Mark Trestman as an offensive coordinator. I'm not a fan of Trestman.
I'm not a fan of Trestman either. I looked at him with the Bears and said, thank you, Bears.
Yeah, I loved him when he was a Chicago Bear. But who would you like as an offensive coordinator, Troxel Sports Talk, and a defensive coordinator? That's a great question, by the way.
Okay, let me pull up my notes real quick because I did some research. I've been doing some research lately. If we get, say, Robert Saleh as our head coach, I wouldn't mind Mike McDaniel from the 49ers. He's the run game coordinator. And for defensive coordinator, get a load of this one, folks, because he was a Detroit Lion, and that is Chris Couric, also with the San Francisco 49ers. He was the one who helped develop talent like a Kerry Hyder, like a the one from West Branch, who tackled trees, Anthony Zettel. Guys like that, George, what was his last name? George Johnson, guys like that used to just come out of nowhere. He was that guy. He was that guy that worked with the defensive line coach. So that's who I'm going with for the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator. Now, there was a earlier question about what would you do with Darrell Bevell? He'd be my head coach. He would be the top assistant on my team. I would keep him. He's the top guy. He can kind of help coordinate with the offensive coordinator because he does know some of this talent here.
Okay. So there you go. You just got your answer. Adios. We're going to call this one a show. No, I think that's some good ones. I was really hoping Mike Zimmer would get terminated. That would have been perfect. Man.
That would have been
perfect. As defensive coordinator. But what do you think? Let's go Lions. Have you got individuals in mind?
You know what? Honestly, I would say the only one that I could think, I don't want to dip into defensive coordinators. Looking at offensive personally, and again, I know that I might be in the minority here, but I do like Darrell Bevell. I like what he did with our offense. I think he knows the guys. He knows the system. The way you watch him start working with Stafford specifically this last year, really incorporating that big arm. And without Kenny Golladay, we suffered a lot of what would have been deep routes, a lot of deep threats. And so looking at him specifically, I like Darrell Bevell. Maybe not to keep him as an OC. I'd like to see him stay with the team for sure, potentially as an OC, but at least stay with the organization.
Okay, TA Noble Sports, man. Who do you got for coordinating? Noble Sports. TA is gone. We're going to go to Antonio Hightower. Who'd you like as coordinators?
I'd be cool with Lovie Smith on defense, and I'd love if we get enemy offense. That's the number one guy for me.
And that would be a steal. Him as an offensive coordinator? Holy smokes, man.
I mean him as our head coach / offensive coordinator. That's what I mean by that.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, him from that would seem unlikely. What about you, Troxel Sport, or not Troxel, but TA a Noble Sports Talk?
Yeah, can you hear me, Mike?
Yes, I can hear you, man. Who do you got for coordinators?
For coordinators, I may take a look at the quarterback coach from Kansas City, Mike Caffey or something like that. That's how you say it, Mike Caffey or something like that. Caffey. Okay. I may take a look at him, and then defensive coordinator, I'll probably look at Don Brown. No, I'm just playing. No, I would definitely grab Lovie Smith, man. I definitely love Lovie Smith and what he brings to the game of football. I definitely would think about a guy like him.
Larry Lander says, what do you think about trading Halapoulivaati Vaitai away and release him for drafting Deontay Brown, the big tackle? The thing is, Vati is his cap, and I'm not happy with him. I'm not happy with Halapoulivaati Vaitai. If we can trade him away, that would be fantastic, in my opinion. But releasing him, I don't know, man. I think it's going to hurt our cap space. What do you guys think?
Taking Deontay Brown in the first round for the Lions have too many more pressing needs to be taking him in the draft. Now, I love Deontay Brown. He was the guy that put pause on Derek Brown. When Derek Brown's going his little rampage through the SEC, Deontay Brown said, "Oh, you just a regular guy to me." Put hands on him. He's 350, athletic, can hit, aggressive. Probably my favorite offensive lineman in the draft. That all being said, though, the Lions have bigger needs than offensive line. They need a quarterback. They need some wide receivers. Need some defensive players. Like, if anything, you could say that our offensive line is the best thing we have right now. So, while I would love him on our team, the Lions have too many bigger needs to be taking a guard in the first round.
Ooh, and I see Troxel Sports Talk warming his hands up. That means he's like, I gotta do a rebuttal here. I think I'm gonna die, but I'm with you, man. I think we got bigger needs the offensive line. I truly do, man. Before I give you the go ahead, I think we need linebacker. I think that's like the number one need right now.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely like linebacker is the number one need, definitely.
When Christian Jones is up there to be one of your best linebackers, you're in a world of hurt, folks. You are in a world of hurt. That means the team sucks, okay? And okay, no problem. Hey, Let's Talk Lions has got a dip here. I just seen that message there. So Let's Talk Lions, when you dip out, just tell the folks about your channel, where to find it, what you're going to be doing. Let them know.
Sure. Excellent. Yeah. Thanks, guys. So you guys can find me on Let's Talk Lions. That's my channel name. And quite frankly, I talk all about the Detroit Lions, whether it's news, updates, pregame, postgame analysis, stuff like that. And it's been a blast hanging out with ISN with all you fellas. It's been a good time. Noble Sports has got to go. What do you got to say to the folks?
Hey, man, we appreciate you guys for chiming in on today. Hey, guys, don't take it personal. It's just nothing but opinions right now on the show, and that's all it is. Hopefully, whoever gets the head coaching job will be able to turn this thing around, because that's all what we all want. We want to see the Detroit Lions be successful. We want to see the franchise turn around, and that's what it's all about, guys. So shout out to you guys, yo. You guys are the real MVP, and without you guys, none of this is possible. All right, guys, have a great night.
All right, TA.
Now,
all right, guys.
He has a good question here. Adios, TA. Have a good one. He says, who is our worst linebacker? I'm waiting. That is a hard question. That is like asking a question.
That's an easy question.
That's like asking, what is the reason of life? You know, like, prove.
Can I choose all answers?
Facts.
All of the above? That's a hard one. That's a real hard one.
All of them. That's an easy question. All of them are horrible.
But who is the worst?
They're all the worst.
That's a great question there, and you stumped us here. Mike, your first round, we need someone else. I forgot to mention that maybe trade to the first round again. Oh, trade into the first round. Okay, yeah. Hey, look, I'm all about trading back into the first round of the draft. You know me, I like going up and down the draft. Warpath, what's going on, man? Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to On the Warpath. He is a Washington football team fan. He's a great YouTuber. I love it. I'm always in his chats, having a great time. Subscribe to his channel. Just like Let's Talk Lions, that is the pinned comment. I'm always up for trading in, trading out. I'm aggressive. And that's what I like about Brad Holmes. He's an aggressive individual as well. If there is a talent there, just go get it. If you feel like this is a game changer, then go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no problem with that, Trox.
Absolutely. That's why if we could trade Vitae and say go trade back in and select Brown, absolutely go do it. I have no problem with it. As long as you're addressing what you need to address, whether it's quarterback, linebacker, defensive line, offensive line, whatever. Like, as long as you're addressing what you need to address in this draft with what you have, I'm okay trading back in and selecting guys like that. Now, my biggest thing is if you select a quarterback and you don't have an offensive line, I don't care who you have. You can have Drew Brees. You can have Tom Brady. You can have anybody.
Here we go.
You can have even the second coming of Jesus. And guess what? If you don't have an offensive line, they're not going to perform. That's plain.
All right, let the debate begin, because we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this moment, the moment where it's going to be, do you take an offense? Because Trox loves the offensive line, and he is adamant that if there is a right tackle there with that 7th pick, you taking a right tackle.
As long as it's a top tier guy, like I'm talking about a bona fide stud. If he is a bona fide stud, absolutely, I'm going to take a right tackle. Why? You got Decker, then you got Stenberg, you got Ragnow, you have Jonah Jackson. You still have and we haven't seen Bo Benchwa. The only person left is that right tackle. You have a great backup in Terrell Crosby. He can play right tackle, he can play left tackle, depending on who's injured or who's banged up or who needs a rest. You have all these things, and that's the last piece to the offensive line puzzle.
Hey, Stroller, he says, Lions suck, laughing my butt off. Tell us something we don't know. I've been a Lions fan. I'm 35 years old. You're literally preaching to the choir. It doesn't hurt our feelings when you say the Lions suck, because guess what? I have gone through 0-16. I have gone through year after year after year after year. It's just the way it is.
Hey, we are the Detroit Simbas. We sing Hakuna Matata. Our off season is our regular season.
Folks, let's get to 90 likes. That would be fan-freaking-tastic. I would appreciate it. We're at 82 right now. Travis Doyle says, do you think about trading our first-round pick down, maybe with the Jaguars for the 2nd and 2/3 for this year's draft? Trading the first round down. So trading backwards, you're talking about going from like 7 to 19 or whatever it is, whatever their pick is. I'm not 100% sure. I think their second one is that. PG, Brad Holmes, he is 41 years old. He comes from the Los Angeles Rams. He was their college scouting director. He is the guy that brought in the talent from the rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and undrafted free agent. He was the guy on the ground for them. He's a very good talent, and he's a quality general manager to help us bring this roster up there. But trading back from 7 to, say, the late teens, Antonio Hightower, would you do that if you can acquire such a haul, such as a first-round pick and a 2nd and 2/3?
I mean, probably not, unless a team like the 49ers, because, they really need a quarterback. And, Trey Lance would look pretty great in Shanahan's scene. Give up 2 firsts and not do it. But when I have a chance to get a quarterback like Trey Lance, I can get one of the top 4 quarterbacks at that position. Now, if the top 4 quarterbacks are gone, yeah, I definitely do that, because there's really nobody worth picking at that position at that point. But if the top 4 quarterbacks are there, no, unless you're giving me like 2 firsts.
Mortal Films, God, I love his name. Every time I see him comment on my videos, I'm so happy, because he's got a sick avatar with a sick name. And Grim Father with the comment of the day, trading the Fords. Yes, I think that would be smart. Trade the Ford.
Get a bag of chips for him, probably.
Yeah. I'll trade you the Fords for Troxel Sports Talk, and then we'll draft a right tackle in the first round for 10 years straight, folks. 10 years straight of right tackles. Make it happen. Make it happen. Would you trade back from 7 to late teens, Troxel Sports Talk?
Just because of so many deficiencies that we have, no money, not only 5 draft picks, I would say yes. Next year, there's, shout out to TA of Noble Sports. There's Spencer Rattler and also Riddler from Cincinnati. Rattler's from OU. I covered that game in a live stream. Shout out to everybody that came over and check that out. But I did a live stream with OU in a bowl game, and I said he is amazing. I feel like Spencer Rattler could be the next Patrick Mahomes. That's what I'm saying. I could wait if I don't see the guy that I really want. I could go pick up in my defense. I could go pick up, the trenches. I could go after so many different things because I know, hey, I'm not going to be good this year, regardless of who I pick. So next year, we're still going to have right around the same draft pick. And I can go select, Spencer Rattler, and I can have a team around him to where he's not going to be lost, dazed, and confused and, be put into a situation like Matthew Stafford was coming into his rookie season.
My draft philosophy is, and I've been like this, whatever. If there's a franchise quarterback there, you take it. I would have took Justin Herbert last year. I talked about it all year. I said I was worrisome about Tua's injury, but I would have took Justin Herbert with that third pick. If Trey Lance is there and I feel he's the guy, he's a game-changing, playmaking quarterback, I'm taking him. If I don't feel that way, and I don't feel that there's a game-changing blue-chip player, I'm always willing to trade back, especially if you have a general manager like Brad Holmes, who's very good at picking players in the mid-round. So if you're acquiring, 2 first-round picks to move back 10 spots or a second-round pick and a couple thirds, that's enticing, depending on the talent that is available with the 7th pick. We don't know. Generally in a draft, there's 6 blue-chip players. That's generally kind of what it is. It's a little bit different of a draft, though, because there's 4 quarterbacks in this year's draft that are extremely good, and that doesn't happen that much. So we'll see. But I think I'd want a little bit more. I think I'd want a first-round pick, that late first-round pick. I think I'd want their second-round pick this year, and I think I'd want probably a first-round pick next year and a third this year. I think I'd want a haul. If they're wanting to move up that much, and there's a quarterback there, you need to give me something that's going to help this franchise out. What about you, Antonio Hightower?
I mean, I want to say, the Lions had to take, Spencer Rattler, then we might not be in the greatest place because he's not even the best quarterback in next year's draft. That'd be Sam Howell. But if Lance is there, you take Lance. If he would be the number 1 overall quarterback in next year's draft if he was in there. That's how weak the draft is compared to this one. Every single one of these quarterbacks next year is the first overall pick. If Trey Lance is there, you take him. There's some guys, you could probably get like a Mac Jones, or you can get Kyle Trask, or you can get, Rattler next year, who's pretty raw. You can get Riddler, who even when teams are very QB needy, he wouldn't even be a first round pick. That's just how teams view him currently. Now Lance is probably raw, but he's very. I'm not gonna say he's kind of similar to Josh Allen. He just doesn't have the rocket arm that Allen has. Allen has Allen has probably the biggest arm I've ever seen, ever. But I'd probably go with Lance. The dude is 6', he's 6'4", 230, can run. He's pretty raw, but you can't just pass up on a guy like that.
His talent is extremely high. I have a first-round grade on him. I have a top 10 grade on Trey Lance. And this year's draft is shocking. I have 4 first-round grades. But when it comes to Mac Jones and Kyle Trask, I don't have first-round grades on those guys. I feel like Mac Jones is a product of his environment. And I think Kyle Trask is – who is the quarterback from the Denver Broncos?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. I feel like he can be like a Drew Lock type of guy, and that guy scares me. And I
do kind of think that Mac Jones can be a first-round quarterback. If you're looking for a high ceiling, if you're looking for a high floor, low ceiling guy, Mac Jones is probably your guy. I do think he's a product of his environment, but so is Tua, and he went number 4. He had similarly better traits Mac probably has like a better arm. Tua is kind of a little bit more accurate and a little bit better athlete. But there's a lot of teams that really just need a starting quarterback, like the Bears. They really just need a guy who can just be okay and not Mitchell Trubisky. So if teams like that could probably use a Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, who? Mortal Film says, what do you guys think of Kellen Mond if you trade back? And I'm curious, Antonio Hightower, what do you think of him?
Kellen Mond's okay. You know, he's athletic to a certain extent. It's not super athletic. He has an arm. He's okay. He's not really game changing though. He's actually one of the reasons that Texas A&M. He's one of the reasons they're one of the top teams, but he's also one of the reasons why they're not a top 4 team because he's not. Like, he's good, but like in this draft, he'd probably be like what, the 3rd round quarterback maybe.
Okay.
Mond is out. He's okay.
Okay. Troxel Sports Talk. What do you think that is? While we close the show out, we're going to do one more question here left to go. What do you want to see next from the Detroit Lions? We got the GM. What do you want to see next in the next couple of days?
Head coach.
Okay.
I want to know who the guy that's going to lead my players. I think off air we all talk and we want a leader of men. Whether it's Saleh, whether it's Dable, Bieniemy, whoever, Peterson, whoever. We want to know who's going to lead this team, who's going to lead this rebuild, who's going to, get our guys ready to play on Sundays.
Facts on facts. What do you want to see Antonio Hightower in the next couple of days?
I mean, I would love to see them get like a guy like Bieniemy, who most likely don't even want to come here. I mean, come on, it's the Detroit Lions. Why would the top head coaching candidate want to come to the Detroit Lions? I don't know. But if we can get a guy like him, Campbell or Dable, I would really love for him to get I keep forgetting that Panthers offensive coordinator. I keep forgetting his name. Brady. Yeah, Brady. I would love for us to get Brady, but I already know teams gonna go like, well, he's a year late, even though they're not gonna care what he does this year. They're gonna sign him anyway. I would love one of those guys,
Folks, we're about to close this show out because we've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes here. While we close the show out, we do final words. Make sure before you leave to hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. We got 93 up there. Antonio Hightower, what do you got to say to the folks while we close this bad boy out?
Franchise Kenny Galladay, trade him, trade Matthew Stafford, and Okudah wasn't a bust because every single defensive player not named Chase Young, Julian Blackmon, or pretty much them sucked.
Trucks of Sports Talk, what do you got to say to the folks when we close this bad boy out?
Well, I want to thank everyone who came over. Inez, all you guys that came out over for the One Pride podcast. Do appreciate everyone who came out for the One Pride podcast, everyone in the building right now. Hopefully we can get Mike to 100 thumbs up. Subscribe to all the members in the Infinite Sports Network, and let's keep the pride strong. With that being said, have a nice day. This is Trucks Sports Talk, and I'm out.
Joseph Murdoch, sucks that he came at the end of the show, but I appreciate you jumping in here. I would be disappointed if he was the head coach. I just feel like we need to get a different guy as head coach, but if he stuck as offensive coordinator, it would not be a huge thing to me, as long as the head coach wanted him. I don't want it to be forced upon anyone. But I appreciate everybody coming out. What a fantastic day. Had a lot of news. Find out we got our GM. Next is our head coach. Once we get our head coach, we're going to be talking draft and free agency, and we're going to be talking about coordinators. That's the next step in NFL Combine. I can't wait to get into it. I don't know when the next video is going to drop because I have no idea when the breaking news is going to happen. So make sure you hit that notification bell. With that said, folks, and a fantastic day. Hit that like button on the way out. 5 more to go. And adios.